Imagine discovering a lost city buried for thousands of years. You're the first person to see it in millennia. Your heart races as you reach for the entrance and stop. You can't enter. It's forbidden. Around the world, there are archaeological sites so dangerous, so sacred, or so mysterious that governments have sealed them shut. Some protect ancient curses. Others hide secrets that could rewrite history. And a few, they're locked away for reasons no one will explain. Today, I'm taking you inside 25 archaeological sites that are completely off limits to the public. Some you've heard of. Others, governments don't want you to know exist. And by the end, you'll understand why some doors should stay closed. Let's start with the one place that's been sealed for almost a century and might contain India's deadliest secret. Site number 1, Vault B, Padmanabhaswamy Temple, India. In Kerala, India, stands the Padmanabhaswamy Temple. Beautiful, sacred, and hiding something that terrifies even the Indian Supreme Court. In 2011, authorities opened 6 underground vaults beneath the temple. Inside, $22 billion worth of treasure. Gold coins, diamond necklaces, ancient crowns. The largest treasure trove ever discovered. But there's a 7th vault. Vault B, and it's been sealed for centuries. The door has no locks, no handles, just 2 enormous cobras carved into the metal. And nobody knows how to open it. Local legend says Vault B can only be opened by a high-level sadhu who chants a specific Garuda mantra. Anyone else who tries? Death. Immediately. In the 1930s, temple authorities tried to open it. They couldn't get past the first door. Those who tried reportedly fell violently ill. One died within days. In 2020, the Indian Supreme Court ruled Vault B stays sealed forever. The royal family that guards the temple agrees. They say what's inside should never see light. $22 billion was in the other vaults. What could possibly be in this one that's too dangerous to reveal? Site number 2, RAF Menwith Hill. This isn't ancient, but it sits on land that is. RAF Menwith Hill in England, the largest electronic monitoring station in the world. Those white golf ball structures? They're radomes, covering satellites and spy equipment so advanced, even most government officials don't know what they do. But here's what most people don't know: before it was a spy base, this land was an Iron Age settlement. Archaeological surveys found evidence of Roman occupation, ancient burial grounds, and artifacts dating back 3,000 years. When archaeologists requested access to excavate, denied. Classified. The official reason? National security. But locals whisper about something else. Stone circles beneath the base. Ancient tunnels. Some believe the military chose this location because of what's buried there. It's guarded 24/7. Trespassing gets you arrested immediately. And whatever secrets, ancient or modern, are buried beneath those domes, they're staying there. Site number 3, Lascaux Caves, France. In 1940, 4 teenagers and a dog stumbled into a cave in southern France. What they found changed archaeology forever. Lascaux Cave. 17,000-year-old paintings covering the walls. Bulls, horses, deer, stags. Painted by Cro-Magnon humans during the Ice Age with such skill, they look alive. After World War II, Lascaux became a tourist sensation. 1,200 visitors per day squeezed into these narrow caves. In 1963, the French government sealed Lascaux. No tourists, no visitors, only a handful of scientists allowed inside for a few hours per year. They built an exact replica nearby, Lascaux 2, so people could experience it. But the real cave? Forbidden. Sometimes, the only way to preserve something is to never see it again. Lascaux is sacrificed so future generations might still have it. Site number 4, Poveglia Island, Italy. Off the coast of Venice sits an island the locals refuse to talk about. Poveglia, the most haunted place in Italy. And it's completely illegal to visit. During the Roman Empire, Poveglia was where plague victims were quarantined. Over 100,000 people died here, burned in mass graves. In 1922, a psychiatric hospital opened on the island. Patients reported seeing ghosts of plague victims. Then the rumor started about the chief doctor performing experimental lobotomies, torturing patients. Legend says the doctor went insane and threw himself from the bell tower. Locals claim you can still hear the bell ringing at night, even though the mechanism was removed decades ago. Archaeologists believe there are Roman ruins buried beneath the modern structures. But nobody's brave enough to dig. Because some places don't just keep out the living. They trap the dead. Site number 5, Area 51, Nevada, USA. You knew this was coming. Area 51. Officially, Groom Lake. Officially, a military testing facility. Unofficially? Take your pick of conspiracy theories. The perimeter is heavily guarded. Sensors everywhere. If you cross the boundary, armed guards appear within minutes. Photography from nearby mountains is monitored. Civilian aircraft are banned from the airspace. But here's what most alien enthusiasts don't know: Area 51 sits on land rich with Native American archaeological sites. Tribal leaders have been fighting for decades to access their ancestral sites for religious ceremonies. Denied every time. National security. From government secrets to sacred ground. Next, we're entering sites so holy, trespassing could get you killed. Part 2, The Sacred and Protected Site number 6, Mount Kailash, Tibet/China. We talked about this mountain in my previous video, but here's what I didn't mention: it's illegal to climb Mount Kailash. At 21,778 feet, it's shorter than Everest. Technically climbable. But the Chinese government has banned all climbing attempts. Why? Because over 2 billion people across 4 religions, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Bon, consider it the holiest mountain on earth. You can walk around it, the 32-mile Kora pilgrimage. But set foot on the mountain itself. Arrested. In 2001, Spain's Jesus Martinez Noves received permission to climb. International outrage forced him to cancel. Reinhold Messner, one of history's greatest climbers, was offered permission. He refused. If we conquer this mountain, we conquer something in people's souls. And maybe that's the point. Some places aren't meant to be conquered. They're meant to remain untouchable. Eternal. Sacred. Site number 7, Lalibela Churches, Ethiopia. In the mountains of Ethiopia, 11 churches carved directly from solid rock. Not built, carved. Top to bottom. From a single piece of stone. They date to the 12th century. Carved over 23 years by King Lalibela. Some say with the help of angels, because the engineering shouldn't have been possible. The Church of St. George is a perfect cross, carved 40 feet deep into the ground. Windows, doors, pillars, all carved from one continuous rock. Tourists can visit. But certain chambers are forbidden. The Holy of Holies, the innermost sanctuaries, are accessible only to priests. These chambers contain ancient manuscripts, religious artifacts, and, according to legend, the Ark of the Covenant. Armed guards and Orthodox priests protect the entrances. Unauthorized entry? You'll be removed. Forcibly. What's in those sealed chambers? The Ethiopians know. But they're not telling. Site number 8, Ex-Church Catacombs, Czech Republic. Beneath a church in the Czech Republic lies a catacomb. But not just any catacomb. one decorated with the bones of 40,000 people. The Sedlitz ossuary. Chandeliers made from human bones. Coat of arms constructed from skulls. Even the signature of the artist in bones. It's a UNESCO site. Open to tourists. But there's a lower level. Sealed. Forbidden. In 2013, during restoration, workers discovered a hidden chamber beneath the main ossuary. They opened it just enough to see more bones. Thousands more. Arranged in patterns they couldn't explain. The Czech government sealed it immediately. The official reason? Structural instability. But workers who entered described feeling overwhelming dread. One collapsed. Another refused to return. They sealed it with concrete within 48 hours. 40,000 bodies in the main ossuary. How many in the chamber below? And why were they hidden separately? Site number 9, the tomb of Genghis Khan, Mongolia. Genghis Khan, the man who conquered more territory than anyone in history. When he died in 1227, his soldiers buried him in secret. And that secret has been kept for 800 years. The greatest conqueror in history wanted to be forgotten. And maybe we should respect that. Site number 10, Göbekli Tepe, restricted sections, Turkey. In 1994, a Turkish shepherd found carved stones on a hilltop. What archaeologists uncovered rewrote human history. Göbekli Tepe, a temple complex built 11,600 years ago. That's 6,000 years before Stonehenge. Before agriculture. Before civilization as we know it. Massive T-shaped pillars weighing 20 tons. Carved with animals, foxes, scorpions, vultures. But no tools have been found. No evidence of settlement. Just this massive temple appearing out of nowhere. Here's the thing, only 5% has been excavated. The rest is buried. And the Turkish government has restricted further digging. Ground-penetrating radar shows at least 20 more circles underground. Potentially hundreds of pillars still buried. Certain excavation areas are off limits to everyone except lead archaeologists. No cameras. No media. No explanation. Site number 11, Mecca and Medina, Saudi Arabia. The most forbidden archaeological sites on Earth aren't hidden in jungles. They're in plain sight. In Saudi Arabia. Mecca and Medina. Islam's two holiest cities. Home to the Kaaba, the Prophet's Mosque, and countless archaeological treasures. Non-Muslims are banned. Completely. Road signs literally say, Muslims only. Separate highways for non-Muslims to bypass. Punishment for trespassing. Deportation. Possible imprisonment. And in extreme cases, death penalty. Archaeologists, Muslim or not, face extreme restrictions. Many sites have been demolished for modern construction. Early Islamic history literally bulldozed for hotels and malls. Site number 12, Serpent Mound, Ohio, USA. In southern Ohio, an ancient earthwork shaped like a serpent stretches 1,348 feet. Built between 800 BCE and 1100 CE by the Fourth Ancient or Adena cultures. You can visit, walk on designated paths, but you can't touch the mound itself. Can't dig. Can't take samples without federal permission, which is almost never granted. Why? Native American tribes consider it sacred. It's a burial ground. A ceremonial site. A connection to their ancestors. Archaeologists have excavated tiny portions. But tribal leaders successfully lobbied to restrict further digging. Many believe disturbing the mound will bring spiritual consequences. The serpent's head aligns with the summer solstice sunset. The curves align with lunar cycles. These were not primitive people, they were master astronomers. Site number 13, North Sentinel Island, India. Off the coast of India, there's an island where time stopped 60,000 years ago. And the people who live there will kill you if you try to land. North Sentinel Island. Home to the Sentinelese, one of the last uncontacted tribes on Earth. Population, estimated 50 to 500 people. Language, unknown. Culture, unobserved. They want nothing to do with the outside world. And they've made that very clear. Arrows. Spears. Rocks. Anyone who approaches gets attacked. In 2018, American missionary John Allen Chow tried to make contact. He was killed. His body was never recovered. The Indian government has declared a 3-mile exclusion zone. It's illegal to approach. Not just for your safety, for theirs. But archaeologically, this island is a time capsule. Stone Age tools. Hunter-gatherer society. Living exactly as humans did 60,000 years ago. Site number 14, Pripyat and Amp, Chernobyl Exclusion Zone, Ukraine. On April 26, 1986, Reactor 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant exploded. The nearby city of Pripyat was evacuated within 36 hours. Nobody's lived there since. Ukrainian archaeologists have identified dozens of pre-nuclear sites within the exclusion zone. But digging them up would expose workers to dangerous levels of radiation. These sites will remain untouched longer than any government ban could enforce. Not by law, but by physics. Site number 15, the Catacombs of Paris, Restricted Sections, France. Beneath Paris, a labyrinth of tunnels holds the remains of 6 million people. The catacombs. Open for tours. But that's only 1% of the tunnels. The full network stretches 200 miles beneath the city. Most of it is illegal to enter. Sealed. Guarded. And incredibly dangerous. Urban explorers called cataphiles navigate the forbidden sections. They found Nazi bunkers, secret rooms, underground cinemas, and chambers filled with bones that aren't on any official map. French police conduct raids. Cataphiles are arrested, fined, even jailed. But they keep going back. In 2004, police discovered a fully equipped movie theater deep in the restricted zone, complete with a screen, seating, and concession stand. When they returned 3 days later, everything was gone. Just a note, do not try to find us. Site number 16, Gan Tombs, China in 1974. Farmers digging a well discovered the Terracotta Army, 8,000 life-size clay soldiers guarding Emperor Qin Shi Huang's tomb. Tourists can see the warriors. But the tomb itself? Sealed. Forbidden. Unexcavated. The tomb is a massive pyramid mound. Ground-penetrating radar shows palaces, rivers of mercury, and treasures beyond imagination. Ancient texts describe rivers of mercury inside representing China's rivers. Tests confirm mercury levels in the soil are 100 times higher than normal. The Chinese government refuses to open it. Official reason: we lack the technology to preserve what's inside. Real reason: ancient texts describe crossbow traps that auto-fire at intruders. Poisoned arrows. Floors that collapse. Qin Shi Huang was obsessed with protecting his afterlife. Grandest of all, remains sealed. By choice. Or by something more sinister. Site number 17, the Sistine Chapel Secret Archive, Vatican City. The Vatican Secret Archives, recently renamed the Apostolic Archive, contain 53 miles of shelving. 35,000 volumes of historical records, spanning 1,200 years. Scholars can access portions with strict rules. No cameras. No phones. 3 documents per day maximum. You must know exactly what you're requesting. But certain sections are completely off limits. Records of the Inquisition. Documents about the Knights Templar. Files on alleged miracles and exorcisms. Conspiracy theorists believe the Vatican hides proof of aliens, early Christianity secrets, or evidence that contradicts church doctrine. The reality? It's likely just embarrassing or politically sensitive historical records. Letters from monarchs. Confessions from historical figures. Accounts of church corruption. From religious secrets to natural mysteries. Next, sites so strange, scientists can't explain them. Site number 18, Circe Island, Iceland. On November 14, 1963, off the coast of Iceland, the ocean started boiling. A volcano erupted underwater. And within days a new island was born. Circe, the youngest island on Earth. And it's been illegal to visit since day one. Why? Because it's the world's largest natural laboratory. Scientists are documenting exactly how life colonizes a new landmass. Since 1963, life has arrived. Birds nest there, bringing seeds in their droppings. Plants sprout. Insects appear. Seals haul out on the beaches. Tour boats can circle it. But landing? Illegal. Icelandic Coast Guard enforces it aggressively. Circe will tell us how life spread to islands throughout history. How ancient humans found plants and animals already waiting. It's living archaeology if we don't ruin it. Site number 19, Meteora Monasteries, Restricted Sections, Greece. In central Greece, monasteries perch on top of towering rock pillars, some over 1,300 feet high. Meteora. Suspended in air. Built in the 14th-16th centuries by monks seeking isolation. Originally, the only way up was rope ladders or nets. If the monks didn't trust you, they didn't pull you up. Today, 6 monasteries are accessible by stairs carved into the rock. Tourists visit daily. But several monasteries are sealed, crumbling, dangerous, and forbidden. Even more mysterious, caves honeycomb the rock pillars. Some are ancient hermit cells. Others, no one knows. They're inaccessible without climbing equipment, and climbing is banned. Archaeologists using drones have photographed caves with frescoes, inscriptions, and artifacts. But reaching them would require rappelling, which is illegal without special permits that are almost never granted. The Greek Orthodox Church controls access. They argue these are sacred spaces, not tourist attractions. Some secrets are meant to stay with God. Site number 20, the Mariana Trench, Pacific Ocean. The deepest place on Earth. The Mariana Trench. Nearly 7 miles deep. Only 3 people have ever reached the bottom. In 1960, Jacques Piccard and Don Walsh descended in a bathyscaphe. In 2012, James Cameron made the journey in a submersible. The pressure at the bottom is 16,000 pounds per square inch. Enough to crush a human instantly. But here's what few people know: ancient landmasses and archaeological sites could be at the bottom. When sea levels were lower during ice ages, these areas were exposed. Plus, it's in international waters. No single government controls it. But also, no government can easily authorize excavation. The deepest archaeological sites on Earth might be at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. And we might never find them. Site number 21, the reshot structure, Eye of the Sahara, Mauritania. In the Sahara Desert, a massive circular formation stretches 28 miles across. The reshot structure, also called the Eye of the Sahara. Perfect concentric circles visible from space. For years, astronauts used it as a landmark. Geologists say it's a natural formation, an eroded geological dome. Ancient rock layers worn away by wind and water over millions of years. But others see something else. The circles match Plato's description of Atlantis, rings of land and water surrounding a central island. Could this be the real Atlantis? Submerged 11,600 years ago, then re-exposed as the Sahara dried out. The Mauritanian government restricts access, officially due to remoteness and safety concerns. The area is hard to reach, no roads, extreme heat, occasional military activity. Limited archaeological surveys have found Stone Age tools and evidence of ancient settlements. But comprehensive excavation never authorized. Site number 22, Derinkuyu Underground City, Turkey. In Cappadocia, Turkey, a man renovating his basement knocked down a wall. Behind it, a tunnel. That led to another tunnel. That led to an entire underground city. Derinkuyu, an underground city carved from volcanic rock, stretching 18 stories deep. It could shelter 20,000 people, complete with food storage, wells, schools, chapels, and even wineries. Built around the 8th century BCE, possibly earlier. Christians hid here during Roman persecution. Tourists can visit 8 levels. But the lower 10 levels? Sealed. Too dangerous. And according to guides, incomplete excavation. Turkish authorities limit excavation. They say it's about preservation and safety. But some believe they've found something they don't want publicized. How did Bronze Age people carve 18 stories into solid rock? Why did they need to hide so many people? And what's in those sealed lower levels? Site number 23, Newgrange Island. In Ireland's Boyne Valley sits Newgrange, a passage tomb built 5,200 years ago. Older than Stonehenge. Older than the Egyptian pyramids. Once a year, on the winter solstice, sunlight penetrates the 60-foot passage and illuminates the inner chamber for exactly 17 minutes. 50 people per year, chosen by lottery, get to witness this. The waiting list is 10+ years long. But beyond the main chamber are side chambers. Sealed. Archaeologists partially excavated them in the 1960s, finding cremated remains and artifacts. Site number 24, the Hall of Records. According to legend, beneath the Sphinx's pause lies a hidden chamber. The Hall of Records. Containing the accumulated knowledge of Atlantis or an advanced pre-Egyptian civilization. In the 1990s, researchers conducted seismic testing. They found anomalies, possible chambers beneath the Sphinx. The Egyptian government immediately banned further testing. They claimed it would damage the Sphinx. But they've never allowed follow-up studies. Former Egyptian Minister of Antiquities Zahi Hawass has vehemently denied any chambers exist. He's blocked multiple research teams from investigating. So does it exist? Or is Egypt protecting its tourism industry by preventing wild goose chases? We may never know. Site number 25, the Vatican Necropolis, Vatican City. Beneath St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City lies an ancient Roman necropolis, a city of the dead. In 1939, workers discovered it while making repairs. Rows of pagan tombs, Christian graves, and elaborate mausoleums. Today, tiny guided tours are allowed, maximum 12 people, pre-booked months in advance, strictly controlled. But most of the necropolis remains off limits. Entire sections have never been fully excavated. They claim to have found St. Peter's tomb, Christianity's first pope. But controversy surrounds the identification. Critics say the evidence is weak. What else is down there? Early Christian texts. Evidence of pagan-Christian overlap. Treasures from the Roman Empire. The Vatican controls access completely. They decide what gets studied, what gets published, and what stays hidden. Which site surprised you most? Which one do you wish you could enter? Drop it in the comments. And if you think I missed any forbidden sites, let me know, maybe we'll do a part 2. If you love this deep dive into forbidden places, hit that subscribe button. We're exploring the world's greatest mysteries, one locked door at a time. I'm Yogita and this is She Speaks Anyways. And remember, just because you can't go somewhere doesn't mean you can't wonder what's there.